Hey guys, today we're filming a Q&A video. Still no internet, sadly, and I did upload that video, like I said I would. And then on Tuesday, I uploaded another video, like I said I would. So, 2 videos are up now. And let's get started on the questions. And it took forever. It did. I knew it would, but I managed to get there early. I had some stuff to do in the day. So I guess I was a little over dramatized when I said, even if it takes me all day, and I really did sincerely mean that, but I did have stuff to do. But I did go in early, and it took me a freaking long time to get it uploaded because it kept rejecting the file. Like, every time it would, like, upload, something would be wrong with their internet. And I told you, uploading at a public place is a pain in the ass. So, I'm just going to get to the questions, and hopefully internet will be on soon. I have no idea when, but we'll see. Okay, my first question is, any tattoo plans? Yes, I have a few ideas. The second one's a little hard to explain though. I want a figure 8 chain on my leg saying you can't remove this chain because in school I was told once to remove my chain and they can't remove it if it's tattooed on my body, right? And I get that they have to have the rule because safety regulations, even though they really don't care, they still have to have the rule for having the rule. And I got in trouble one time out of all the times of never getting in trouble because I literally wore the chain every single day. And it was even a small chain. I mean, I wouldn't wear a large chain even though that actually sounds pretty cool. I would, but I wouldn't wear that to school because I obviously know that could be a safety issue with thousands of kids in my school. But it was just a small chain, and I got in trouble for it by one of those teachers that isn't really a teacher. They're just a staff member there to help observe the students, like during lunch, and he stuck his pen in my chain. He's like, you know you're not supposed to be wearing this, right? And I'm just like, my teachers, and I've worn this in front of the principal of the goddamn school, the fucking principal. Excuse my language, I'm just a little frustrated because, I mean, I know it was like a year ago when this happened, but it still gets me every time. Because, I mean, I guess it depends on the student, but I'm a well-behaved student. Nothing on my, I was a well-behaved student. I graduated high school now, last June. And he just, like, took power over me. He saw my chain. It was, like, very close to my body. Couldn't get caught on anything at all. And I know I wouldn't be using it as a weapon because I'm a good student and I have no behavior record that says I'm any way ill-behaved. And even my teachers trusted me. They're just like, I don't mind if you wear it, just be careful out in the hallway because you know those other teachers will probably tell you to take it off. And I was always warned about that. And plenty of those teachers have seen me before with it, so there was no problem with it. So one day I was wearing it during lunch, and there I was just like, stick his pen in there. You know you're not supposed to be wearing this, right? It's against school regulations. He's like, you can read, right? And I'm like, yeah, I can read. And he's like, then you know the school dress code is not to wear a chain. And I'm just like, it's not like it can hurt anybody, and it's not like it's a very large chain to begin with. And he's like, don't backtalk me. And I'm like, I'm not backtalking you. I swear. It's just like, if I was backtalking you, you'd know it. I was just stating the facts. And to avoid an argument and to avoid a detention, I just took it off. And yeah, I just wanted, that's what I wanted for a tattoo I did, saying you can't remove this chain because, you know, just something that'll always remind me of that and how, I don't know. It's just an idea I wanted. And I still like the idea, and I think the art would be cool. I know it's a big commitment for just a small thing that happened one day, but it was a big deal to me because nothing like that's really ever happened to me before. Getting in trouble, I've never gotten in trouble in class before. I mean, I have, like, Megan, put your phone away, or Megan, pipe down, stop talking. And I'm out of school now. But just can't tell me to take a chain off my skin, can you? Tattoo. So, yeah, it's just for those people out there that think that they can tell me what to do, and even though what they're saying makes no sense whatsoever. And I can understand their opinion if they would think if I was endangering somebody. Like, please take that off, you're gonna hurt somebody with it. But it was a small chain. And I know that unless the school board was there that day or anybody was important that day, I wouldn't have worn it. But it's not like I had a behavioral record and I was hurting anybody with it. But to avoid an argument, I just took it off and put it in my pocket, and then as soon as lunch was over, I just put it back on. Never happened to me before. And friggin' the principal, all my teachers, they all knew me, so they were cool with me wearing it. But this guy power grazed, and now I decided that make a tattoo that'll always remind me of that day, and he knows that he didn't have any power over me. I know, kind of a stupid thing to like hold a grudge over, but it's just that really stuck to me. I don't know, just food for thought. My second one would be just fallen angel written right here on my left arm, just like in cursive, like from one end to my wrist, not really to my wrist, but like before my wrist, just like this. Just saying fallen angel in like really pretty writing, because I like that song by Black Veil Bride's Fallen Angels, and put a label saying that I'm a fallen angel too, just like they are, because they're my favorite band, and they've helped me a lot through a lot of tough times. So even though I wish I wasn't depressed at times and everything, I'm kind of glad it happened to me, because otherwise I wouldn't be where I am today and met a lot of friends that are exactly like me. So yeah, I like that idea. And then my first tattoo idea, I guess I should have started with this, is just laughter, my favorite element of harmony from My Little Pony. I mean, even if I got out of the My Little Pony fandom, it would still be something that's very important to me. Just saying laughter and like small lettering right there on my ankle, because laughter is a big part of our lives. I mean, we cannot avoid the inevitable of death. So, I know it's currently dark and sad to think about, but it's true. So just put that on. Just remind yourself to laugh, even though we're all going to end up in the same place. It's very important to laugh in your life and make your friends laugh and enjoy your life while you have it. So, and everybody's really lucky to be alive. Life is a very precious gift. Even though I admit sometimes I wish I wasn't alive, because, I mean, everybody wishes that on themselves, even though we really shouldn't. But tons of people say, oh, I wish I was dead. It's a good reminder to remind myself that even though life sucks, I'm lucky to be here, and that's a good way to remind myself that just laugh off the hard times. And it's really significant. It has a lot of meaning to me. So even if I wasn't into My Little Pony anymore, I would still find some meaning in that tattoo, and I like the idea of it. So, and I've thought all these tattoos through, and could I live with myself for the rest of my life, thinking 20, 30 years ahead? Could I live with myself? Could I live with this tattoo for I mean, sure, there's tattoo removal, but that's way more expensive than getting the tattoo, I hear. And a lot more painful, and it leaves a big scar on you. And a big, ugly, ugly scar. And can you live with that for the rest of your life? And yeah, I'm pretty sure that I can. If I don't end up being able to live with it for the rest of my life, I told myself I'm just going to have to deal with the consequences. So, save those comments saying, are you sure you can be able to live with that? Yes, I'm sure I can. That's just something that's very important to me, and tattoos are very unique and very personal to the person. So, I think that it's my own business if I choose my tattoo or not. Even though I judge people if they have stupid tattoos too. Oh, that's a whole nother story. But whatever, truth be told, tattoos are your own thing. Anyway, question number 2. Any cosplays ideas that aren't My Little Pony? Yes, absolutely. I mean, I know I still haven't gotten that Octavia cosplay. That's because it's still been really cold out. There's still some snow on the ground, but not that much. It's pretty much all melted. But it's still really cold out sometimes. I mean, some days it's really hot. At this time of year, it's either really hot or really cold. Same thing happened like right after summer in between fall. It's either really hot or really cold. And that's also this time of year here too. And it's been significantly cold every time my dad's been around, because my dad is very good at the whole camera thing. So he was going to do it, and it's been still very cold out and I haven't been able to do it. And it's not really the cold that bothers me that much as the rain. I was supposed to have it at the end of March. I was supposed to have it at the beginning of March, but there was still way too much snow. And at the end of March I was going to do it, but surprise snowstorm, and that got canceled again. And then April, I'm like, okay, snow's all melted, but April is full of freaking rain. So, yeah, haven't been able to do that either. But, yeah, besides My Little Pony, Doctor Who is definitely one of them. Oh my god, I would love to dress up like a female hobbit. I would freaking love that. It seems like the easiest. If I would choose to be anybody from like Middle Earth and The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, I would definitely be an elf, because just the whole bow and arrow thing, and they're just like amazing, significant creatures. I think they're beautiful. I would never get elf ears. That's way too much of a commitment. But if I had to choose to be somebody on Middle Earth, like for real, if that actually existed, I would definitely be an elf. I don't know why, but I would. But I would love to dress up as a hobbit, because that just seems easier. You know, if I had to choose somebody to dress up as, I would be a hobbit, because that's like the cheapest and easiest one to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to dress up as any other one, all of them, but my first choice is definitely a hobbit, and I want to do that, and that seems like it's definitely possible. So that's why I want to do it, because it's the most possible one. But yeah, anyway, that really didn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, I definitely want to do a Middle Earth type thing, a hobbit, because I would love to be a hobbit. Even though I'd rather be an elf. But elf is too expensive for me. So hobbit, next choice. And yeah. Doctor Who, something from Middle Earth, Dragon Ball Z, that would be so freaking amazing. Not really have like the hair like a Super Saiyan. But you know how Goku always wears that orange outfit? I'd like to have one of those. I don't know if or Master Roshi, I don't really want to know if I would have their, you know how their stamp goes like right there, like their symbol, like their learning symbol. I think I like King Kai's a lot. And I like Master Roshi's, and like, you know, that. Yeah. And I would like to do a Namek type thing. But not paint myself green, because that's a big commitment. I'm thinking way too far ahead. But yeah, I would love to do stuff like that, and hopefully someday I can, but I can't promise you anything. But My Little Pony stuff and Doctor Who stuff, I can promise you that. The other stuff that I mentioned, it's just what I'd like to do. Don't know if it's ever going to be possible. Number 3, what is your take on stereotyping? Okay, now this is a thing, I don't want you to get anything wrong, okay? I've explained this to a lot of people and they've taken it the wrong way. I'm trying so hard to explain it in a way that's not confusing and that you will be able to understand it, okay? Stereotyping, I wrote this down. Well, stereotypes wouldn't exist if they weren't proven true on a regular basis. But, don't get me wrong, I also believe that you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't automatically assume things about people and how they dress. I mean, you can, but you can't. Like, you can assume that somebody like me is, like, with the piercings and stuff, you can assume that I'm into rock music and the heavier stuff and that kind of thing. I mean, that is a stereotype that's not really a stereotype, but that's like pointing out the facts, you know? Stereotype has to do with pointing out the facts, but you can't assume everything about the stereotype. I know it's like way so confusing, but I wrote this, but if you don't like a person because of their type, then don't talk to them if you have nothing nice to say. It's our human nature to assume things about other people, but that doesn't mean we should jump to conclusions. People who are different can be friends, and you still need to treat everybody with respect regardless if they're different or not. You need to get to know somebody before you can automatically assume stuff about them. But it sometimes is safe to assume stuff about people if they are dressed a certain way. Because, I mean, yeah, I know you shouldn't put labels on stuff, but why do you think we put labels on stuff? So we can tell what things are. And we can understand each people when we talk about it. I know that's like really weird, but it's the facts. I mean, don't judge a person just because you don't like their stereotype, and you can't always automatically assume things. I mean, just because a person wears a backwards hat doesn't mean they're automatically in a gang, but I think you can assume that they're into the rap type thing because that's typically what people that look like that are into, but you can't automatically assume the other stuff too. I mean, there are safe assumptions and then there are non-safe assumptions to stereotyping. But regardless, you need to treat everybody with respect, and if you don't like somebody for the stereotype, then just don't talk to them, and if you can't respect it. And it's a whole, for me, stereotyping is a whole ride. I say, like, about me, like, I wear dark clothes and have piercings, but you can automatically assume that I'm a depressed piece of shit lowlife who has no friends. I mean, you can assume that I've had a hard time making friends because of how I look. I mean, that's a safe assumption, but you can't automatically assume that I have no friends and that I cut myself. I mean, those are not safe assumptions. But some stereotypes, assumptions are true because if the stereotypes wouldn't exist if they weren't proven true on a regular basis. I mean, why do you think stereotypes exist? Because they have been proven to exist. I mean, they wouldn't exist if they didn't exist. I mean, you see what I'm saying? I know it's a whole thing. It's a whole bumpy ride to me with stereotyping. Don't judge a person by how they look. And you can't automatically assume things about people in a harsh way, I guess. Like, you can tell by me that I've kind of had a hard time in life by the way I dress, but you can't automatically assume that I'm totally suicidal and stuff like that, like most people assume. You know, because that isn't always the case, but people that dress like me typically are into the rock music and the punk rock and the metal. That's a safe assumption, but it's not totally a safe assumption. I mean, there are safe assumptions and non-safe assumptions when it comes to stereotyping. That's just my look on it, but still, don't judge a book by its cover, because that's not right either. You get what I'm saying? And if you can't respect the way a person looks, I mean, get to know a person, talk to a person before you make any assumptions about them, learn about them, walk in their shoes, and then you can make a safe assumption about somebody. But until then, don't make any guarantees on a person, you know? And treat everybody with respect regardless if they're different than you, because, like My Little Pony teaches us, and in just real life and just anything, even if you take My Little Pony out of the equation, you can be friends with somebody that's different than you, no matter what. I mean, I guess some cases no, but you're missing the point. You can be friends with somebody that's different than you. Yeah. And you can't always assume stuff about people if you've never talked to them. But you kind of can based on their appearance, because you kind of can, but you kind of can't. I'm all over the place when it comes to stereotyping, but like I said, just treat everybody with respect and get to know a person before you flat out judge them. You can make small assumptions, but don't jump to any conclusions. It's just all over the place. And I think I'll stop there. I mean, I still have some more questions on here, but this is nearly a 20-minute video. I can tell by the time on the camera. So I don't want to drag you along for too long, and for those who stuck throughout this whole video, thank you very much. And I'm sorry if I'm a little boring sometimes, and I'm sorry if I over-explain things. It's just that's how I am. I need to explain things to make sure that people get it. It's just how I am. Not to assume that anybody's stupid, it's just my personality. Just gotta understand what I'm saying. Because if you say, yeah, I understand, I'm like, no, you don't understand. I have to explain it to you more until you get it. But this is nearly a 20-minute video, so I'm going to continue the questions for next week's video. I'm sorry that I haven't been posting a long time. For those who don't know why, still, just check out my previous video about, it's called Long Time No See. And it'll explain everything on there about why I haven't been on in a long time. A whole month without making videos, that sucked so bad. Still no internet at home. Hopefully soon. I don't know when. It's been like almost 2 months and it's killing me. So before this goes any further, I will just end it right here and I will see you guys next week. Bye.